I am a difference maker. Imagine all the people. I am a difference maker.
Right. Good morning to you, difference makers, wherever you may be around the world. It's Leigh back with us, Trevor and Ivan from the WISDOMS team, talking difference makers and talking lifelong learning and experiences. And are you ever too old to stop learning, Trevor? We have to start with you on that one.
Yeah, you got to start quickly because I see my hologram is starting to disappear here. Isn't that something that was interesting 20, 30 years ago? What is a hologram? Now I am one. But this concept of lifelong learning, I remember us many years ago when we were talking the concept of life skills and life orientation, which our local schools, they weren't interested in any of that. And that was just down the road, a couple of decades ago, very short time period. And at that time, we were talking about, it's no longer about these short courses. You now got to start thinking about things change so fast that you're in this era of learning for life or lifelong learning. And that has, for me, taken on new meaning, especially in this year, 2023, when AI has come into the mainstream. And we've now got to start learning AI, otherwise we're going to be way behind anyone else's. So here I am now, fast moving into my 70s at a speed. Imagine when I get to 100 miles per hour here. And in fact, we're targeting 1,000. But that's another story we'll talk about here. What's your thoughts, Leigh, on this concept of, you mentioned personal development on your travels, the last session we had. Link that to what is it that you were doing and why at this particular time of your young life are you into personal development, and how does that link to this concept of lifelong learning today?
I think that, there are seasons in life, and there's a time when you're a student and you setting out in your career and laying down foundations about your vision and dream for your life. And then there's certainly for me, it was getting married and having children and adding that dimension into my life, and then you learning what it means to parent young children and then teenagers, and now I'm in the stage of learning, and it is learning how to parent adult children, which is a whole different, you treading in very interesting territory there, and then there's, because your children leave home. In my case, I've got a parent who's living with me. And so that's a whole learning curve, is how do you live in a multi-generational family? And then I turn 60 next year. That's young, but it's also at a stage where there's new opportunities. You can see, I see my life stretching ahead for another 40 years. And what does that life look like? What is that, you've got to keep reinventing yourself. You've got to keep thinking about what is the future. How are you preparing yourself to have an interesting, fulfilling, meaningful life ahead, and still be present. So I think there is personal growth that goes into that. There's envisioning. And then, as you say, Trevor, there's taking into consideration technology, world advancements, and the place that you live in. What is the contribution that you're making? We come back to being a difference maker.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it all starts with, I suppose, being curious. And if you get curious about something, you can gain a bit of interest. You gain a bit of interest, you do some more research, you get a bit of knowledge, you apply that knowledge, and you can maybe wind up with some wisdom if you're lucky. But at the end of the day, what you do find out is the more you know, the less you understand. So it's takes time, it takes process, it takes bit of involvement, and best done in a group. best done with people who are of a similar mindset to you. And that's really what we want. We want you to be part of the Difference Makers movement, to join in, to expand our horizons, expand your own horizons, and hopefully make a meaningful impact in the rest of the world. So hope to see you here. See you soon. Cheers now.
What the world needs now.
I am a difference maker.
Imagine all the people.
I am a difference maker.